What's a home without rivalry, huh? I don't know how this happened. Accidental again. She needs to come over to Stamford Bridge. Eh?
Or you could just come to Old Trafford.
Never. Welcome back to Doek&Tie. Thank you so much for taking time out to click on this here episode or vlog. I don't even know what it's called.
It's a vlog.
Yes. If you haven't checked out any of the previous videos that we put up, please scroll. Just pause this one. You'll come back to this one. Just pause it and go back to our very first video, our second one. And I believe this should be our fourth video now. Yeah, it's our fourth video. So make sure that you watch those other videos so that this one kind of makes sense. And last week we talked about our engagement, you know, how we ended up accidentally engaged. And
it wasn't accidental.
Somewhat, it was accidental.
Oh.
So today we're just continuing with that timeline. Ra ka Patlo le Magadi / Lobola. I know some countries in Southern Africa it's called Lobola, but mo Botswana go bidiwa Magadi, which is the bride price. I think it's called bride price in English, right?
I don't like the English translation.
Bride price. They're putting a price on your head. How much is Bonang worth?
No, that's not what it means, and you know that.
We'll get into it. So yeah, Magadi today, le Patlo, how it all went down.
But before negotiations started, there were a few things that we needed to hash out. So we had to choose, or not choose per se, but rather decide. Do you want a traditional or a white wedding? Do we want a small or big wedding? Did we want it to be extravagant, or did we want a modest affair?
Yeah.
So in essence, we had a modest, small traditional wedding. Yes.
Let me turn this off.
We had, yeah, that is it.
So that was a modest wedding.
A modest, small traditional wedding.
Yeah, and so I think let's park that there. We'll get back to how it was small, modest, and traditional, and why we decided that should be the case. But I want to go back to how Patlo is a mailinga thing, and eventually Patlo. So I cannot go in my vocabulary.
Okay. Dig deep.
No. Patlo. Patlo is a mailing and eventually Magadi, and later on the wedding. I think when we get there, then we'll decide. We'll talk about why small, intimate, traditional wedding instead of a big, white, extravagant wedding. So yeah, just to go back to the timeline there. I told my family what our intentions were in December. Okay, listen, this is what would like to happen when I get married in December, Christmas, and then the negotiations started in January. That's when my family went over to her side of the family to tell them, you know what, our son has interest in your crawl. You saw somebody. Yeah. So that started in Jan, and the days that were agreed on, or the days that were proposed, March. So negotiations started Jan. That's 3 months. Then March, all the negotiations should have happened during that period. And come March, Riduela, or the bride price / Lobola, right? So it went exactly like that. There was my uncles were sent from my side of the family. That's how the process is. And then okay, for that to happen, we need you to meet certain terms and conditions. T's and C's. And what exactly does your family expect my family to do or to meet? What conditions do you expect them to meet in order for us to end up married, right? So that happened in a span of 3 months.
Which to them seemed very rushed.
Yeah. Hey. To us it seemed like a lifetime, because we just wanted to get it over and done with and be together.
So they start asking weird questions.
What weird questions you want?
Why are you in such a rush? Who knows? Is something baking? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one aspect also that I wanted to quickly mention. Tata ga o dira le batsadi ga ba rashiwe, huh? So tabole ta ka plan na rona hore no rona kana re batla gore in 3 months be re nyalane ba tlo ba re yo. Okay, 3 months o tlo nya ngwana ka re santse re lema go mariga ga re batla go travel ka mariga. So that was something that we really had to push and just come to terms le rona gore it's not only us who are involved in this process, but also le bone that are going to be very heavily involved. So obviously when you are looking for assistance like that, just let loose a little and let them be in control to a certain extent. But yeah, I feel like our parents and our families were very understanding. So I also wanted to add that during this 3-month period, she was outside the country. She wasn't there. She didn't see any of this. I was here, right? Yeah. So that was something, I was managing the stresses and the...
I managed people.
Yeah, but over the phone.
I managed expectations.
So what happened after that, baby? I think let's get to Magadi on the day, right? After the negotiations are done.
The day I was waking up at 3 a.m. that day.
Okay, why?
Start getting ready.
Okay, let me start it right. So negotiations are done. Right? Which is some of the things that were expected to be paid. This would differ from culture to culture. From
tribe to tribe.
Yeah, from tribe to tribe. So Rona on the actual day Magadi, it happens very early in the morning. I think it was about 5. So my family finally comes, but excuse me, and then as previously never dumalaneka thing, right? So that happened, and then after that was done, we had a mini lunch, right?
Did I call it mini? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lunch, which to us was the wedding, really. Hence why we're just trying to explain why that small, intimate, intricate wedding. So that's what happened. After Magadi, on that very same day, lunch, which was on a Saturday, right? Yeah, and our situation was a bit peculiar because a lot of couples on that same day, that's when Bang was signed up to now be wife and husband, but we couldn't. Because of, didn't sign on that day, right? Yeah. And then what happened after?
And then after the lunch, because the 2 areas where Magadi Lokoroso was supposed to be are so far apart geographically, basically in essence, they wanted us to be comfortable enough to go between either Tono Talakabani, go wherever our parents are. So then they decided this year so that in the meantime, there wouldn't be any.
You'd feel comfortable going
There wouldn't be any getting. I don't know how to.
You'd feel comfortable. I think it's more for you to feel comfortable for Lawi so you're able to. Yeah. So that happened, and that was the end of that. What other detail are we missing?
The stress.
Whew. Managing stresses at that time, right? Okay, let's now get to traditional or white wedding, big or small, extravagant or modest. Like why did we decide we wanted what we wanted?
Honestly, I believe it was because with like the things they want, and hey, I'm not sure how to explain it. Like Traditional or white wedding? Traditional wedding because I like our tradition. So I think that's why I even wanted my dress to be like a traditional dress. I also didn't want. I feel like it had like a twist to it because although it was a traditional wedding, I wanted to wear my dress all day because it was like sort of like a once-off thing. So I wanted to wear my dress all day. Hey.
Your traditional dress.
Now that you mention it, what let me know. So I think maybe that's why we went with the traditional route. Well, that's what influenced me to go the traditional route. I'd always seen. Funny enough, I grew up wanting a white wedding. But I think what influenced me wanting a white wedding was the fact that I'd never seen mosese o dirileng kali dates, like a very beautiful wedding dress o dirileng kali dates. So my perception was somewhat skewed towards white weddings because I thought, oh, they're so beautiful, they look so princess-like, and on your big day you want to feel like,
beautiful and princessy.
Yeah. So I had never really seen Mrs. Mintle ediruleng ka homo. So the thought was it just wasn't there. And then I started seeing dresses, very beautiful dresses, some of these, and I was like, well, wait here. Wouldn't it be unique if like my dress needed regality and I could add a few things here and there and then have like sort of like a contemporary dress but really traditional. So I think that's why for me,
yeah. And I think for me on that one it was entirely up to her because as guys really on weddings we're just there to accompany the bride. Yeah, it's true. You're there to accompany the bride.
No.
We did consult with each other for, okay, babe, what do you want? Do you want like a white dress? Do you want a traditional dress? Do you want a big wedding? Do you want a small wedding? And then of course we had to weigh in as to why you wanted the things you wanted. But for me, really, it was for her to be happy on her day because as long as you are there, I was happy. That's the whole point of it. And she was very supportive. I believe I was supportive too in making those decisions. And we ended up having a traditional, small, intimate, modest wedding, which we pretty much enjoyed, and all our family was there, our friends pulled through, and to me, I never felt like we missed out on anything. And yeah.
Be honest.
What?
He was such a diva. Be honest.
How was I a diva?
You told me, this is my wedding too. No, Vana gets to decide whatever she wants. No. He picked the decor.
Yeah, that's the only thing I decided on.
You picked a lot of things. You had a say in a lot. And wow, okay.
Okay, I picked the decor. That's the only thing I kind of influenced, which was also a traditionalish with a twist of modern designs, decor, if I may call it that. So yeah. That was that. Yeah.
So then yes, that was Patlo Magadi.
Hey, that's confidential. Highly confidential. But it was a lot, eh? Yo. Hey! It was expensive, man. Yeah. Yo, it's not for the faint-hearted, eh? Somebody should have warned me. That's how many cows I was charged. Not for the faint of heart.
Wow.
And then what else did we take away from the experience? I get one. There's so many twist to it that I'm even failing to just comprehend what exactly happened.
You know, say boy, you barely ate.
Yeah, I didn't eat on the day. That's fact. We both didn't eat. I think we were just overwhelmed with seeing everybody and just being on the spotlight like that the whole day. We didn't eat much. I had one drumstick on the day. One. I don't remember. One drumstick. I was starving in the afternoon. Yeah. But for me, the whole experience really was so beautiful. Just seeing the role that the community plays, more Patong, Magadi. And it's not really between just the two of you when you're getting married, but it's more about the two families coming together and the community coming together to help out and make sure that everything goes accordingly. And for that, I applaud the Setswana tradition. Division of labor thing and division of responsibilities amongst the paternal and the maternal side really gels in together. But what and yeah, it makes sure the family is and it works together. So yeah, Setswana all the way, Setswana tradition all the way. And then what advice would you give somebody who's still trying to decide for a small wedding, big wedding, traditional, white? What advice would you give that person?
It's about you guys. It's about the couple. So a lot of the time we tell the external pressure is not necessarily it's not necessarily from this is a hard one. The external pressures mostly it's people's expectations or how people had imagined your wedding. And you should try as much as possible to manage people's expectations, because at the end of the day, it's your wedding. Like, are you going to be happy? You're gonna be forced to do something that you hadn't wanted to do, because it's like a once-off thing. Sure, you can have anniversaries and possibly recreate it, but you'll never forget like your first. So ensure that you, as much as possible, get what you want out of the ceremony or the day or the celebration. It should be about you and what you want. You have to do something because people feel like it should be done. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Yeah, I think from my that's good advice, but from my end it would be one.
Don't break the bank.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna leave it. One, in the world that we live in, everything revolves around finances. So if you are lucky enough that you have somebody helping you finance your wedding, the two of you finance your wedding, fair and well. But in most instances, like we had, it was just us who were footing the bill. So first of all, make sure you stay in your financial lane. Don't break the bank. Don't go outside the loan, and then you're gonna suffer after. Yeah. So stay in your financial lane while you're planning your big day. If it means, if at all you want an extravagant big wedding, then plan for that well. Save if you need to save, or do whatever you need to do just to make sure that at the end of the day, after that one day of the wedding day, your finances are still intact and you are not in debt. That's I think that's my main advice. And then the second one would be agree as a couple what exactly you want or you envision your day to be like, right? Like she said, we had to sit down and really agree on those 4 elements, big or small, traditional or white, intimate, intricate, or very out and loud wedding. So the minute you agree on that, and make sure that none of you is coercing the other to say, weigh those options and agree as a couple, because at the end of the day, it's your wedding, right? It's supposed to be your day. It's your wedding.
It's supposed to be a very memorable day.
Yeah, and once you agree on what exactly you want to do, stick to that and support each other. Even one family comes in and says, you know, I think that's the first test of you as a couple. Then you stick to your plan, while supporting each other, because you have to remember that when you're preparing for a wedding, so many people are involved. So the likelihood of people trying to come in between you to say kante wa say Rihanna kana now on my end hote kante wa nela sakanye go Rihanna, the minute those people are able to convince us otherwise, and then we end up turning against each other, that becomes a problem. So stay in your financial lane, agree on what you want your wedding or what you envision your wedding day to be like, and stick to that. Yeah, and have fun along the way. No, trust me, nobody eats on that wedding day. The hippie just stamp up. Never. People don't eat. Yeah, so I think that's it from that's it. Is there anything else you wanna chip in?
I think we covered everything.
Yes, and then on this video also we're going to include just pictures of the day on Magadi, Patlo, that we don't really have many pictures of Patlo, but for Magadi.
It was in the morning, but they
oh yes, there are pictures. We'll just include pictures of Patlo, Magadi, and the lunch that was had.
Thank you guys for tuning in to our vlog podcast or whatever it's called.
It's an episode.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode, and to everyone who subscribed to the channel, we'd like to say thank you very much. So please do subscribe, comment and like, and please leave us any questions. If there's anything that you'd like to know, any questions that you'd like to pose to us as a couple, it doesn't necessarily have to be about us. It could be just anything you're curious about. Please do drop it in the comment section. And then we are going to do a Q&A, so we will just keep compiling the questions. Yeah.
Doek&Tie.